Jon Jones's surprising partnership. Jon Jones shocked fans yet again, but this time it wasn't for something inside the octagon. He's now co-owner of Dirty Boxing Championship, a young but ambitious combat outfit that aims to mix elements of boxing with in-close brawling. The tie that binds? His management team. Since Dirty Boxing was founded by notable figures linked to first-round management, the deal practically fell into Jones's lap. Insiders are calling this a power move, one that could redefine how top fighters leverage their brand outside the cage. Given that Dirty Boxing is also seeing rising star power, like Yoel Romero headlining its upcoming card, it's clear this organization wants to hit the ground running. Many wonder if Jones might eventually compete under their banner, or if he's planning to juggle his UFC title run with a promoter's role. Whatever happens, his presence alone gives Dirty Boxing instant credibility and opens the door for more cross-promotion chaos. Tom Aspinall's ultimatum. While Jon Jones is dabbling in new business ventures, Tom Aspinall is demanding answers about a future showdown that's supposed to crown the undisputed king of the heavyweights. Although Dana White has dropped hints that the Jones-Aspinall bout could happen this summer, Aspinall isn't interested in playing the waiting game if the champion drags things out. The interim heavyweight title holder has been on a mission ever since he returned from a lengthy injury layoff. During a recent interview, he laid down an ultimatum. If Jones doesn't step up soon, he'll pivot to another big fight without hesitation. It's a bold stance, but Aspinall believes sitting on the sidelines only stunts his momentum. To him, the ideal scenario is a blockbuster International Fight Week clash under the bright lights of Las Vegas. Yet Aspinall has made it clear he's ready for anyone, perhaps Sergey Pavlovich or another top contender, if the Jones showdown runs into scheduling hurdles. Nate Diaz's legal case fizzles out. Nate Diaz has built his reputation on being one of MMA's most unpredictable personalities, and his latest brush with the law proved no exception. Footage surfaced of Nate confronting a nightclub bouncer, an altercation that saw tensions spiral. Although it looked like trouble for the welterweight icon, Diaz walked away from court mostly unscathed. He completed an impulse control class, leading the judge to dismiss the charges, a turn of events that left some onlookers rolling their eyes. Diaz's attorney argued that by not escalating the scuffle beyond a shove, Diaz essentially showed restraint, befitting someone who fights for a living. Critics wonder if his star power shaped the legal outcome. Whether it was star clout or genuine evidence, the result remains the same. Diaz walked free. Conspiracy theories abound, with fans speculating he might have gotten preferential treatment. On the flip side, many argue that if he were truly reckless, the bouncer would have ended up in a far worse predicament. Whatever you believe, Diaz is now clear to resume his out-of-cage adventures, and in cage ones, if he ever decides to make a grand return. Magomed Ankalaev and the Alex Pereira rematch rumblings. Magomed Ankalaev has a knack for making waves, and his latest target is Alex Pereira. After a rumor broke that Ankalaev is eyeing a summer rematch with Poton, fans had a field day imagining this potential collision. But that's not the entire story. In the same breath, Ankalaev took a dig at Jon Jones, calling him chicken bones, and suggesting he's afraid of facing Tom Aspinall. Although it's not the first time Jones has been taunted by fellow contenders, Ankalaev's remarks feel personal. He believes Jones should return to the light heavyweight ranks rather than play keep-away at heavyweight. For a brief moment, the MMA world pictured a scenario where Jones tries to reclaim his throne at 205, only to find Ankalaev waiting. Would that clash overshadow any plans Jones might have for another super fight? Meanwhile, if an Ankalaev-Pereira rematch actually materializes, it's a bout that could redefine the light heavyweight pecking order, Ilia Topuria's reinvention. In a sport where branding and persona matter almost as much as skill, Ilia Topuria is making a drastic statement. The featherweight sensation, known as El Matador, just announced he's discarding that moniker. No more El Matador. He's promising a whole new identity in his next outing, which will likely be at 155 pounds. Topuria's success at featherweight had fans predicting a title run, but the cut to 145 seemed increasingly brutal. Now, with the decision to test lightweight waters, Topuria could become a dual-threat competitor, the kind who stirs divisional chaos wherever he lands. Though he hasn't revealed his new nickname, he's hinting that this is more than a simple rebranding. It's a signal to the rest of the roster that he's ready for the biggest challenges at a heavier class. Those who watched his cornering skills earlier this year say, Topuria thrives on strategic thinking, whether he's fighting or coaching. That mindset could serve him well as he embarks on this new chapter. Kevin Holland's Reporter Challenge. Kevin Holland, always ready to stir the pot, found a new target, an MMA reporter. It all started innocently enough with a typical question about future matchups. Holland, known for trash-talking inside the cage, flipped the script and teased a fight with the reporter himself. In a moment that left onlookers stunned, the reporter actually accepted. While the exchange was playful, it sparked an avalanche of online commentary. Some fans see it as a comedic testament to Holland's fearless nature, while others believe it undercuts the professionalism of MMA media. Could this set a bizarre precedent where fighters start calling out journalists they feel ask tough questions? For Holland, it's all in a day's work. He's the type who thrives on unpredictability. Just think of the time he fought 3 times in quick succession, or when he casually mentioned chasing burglars outside his fights. He's coming off a rough patch in his career, so maybe this was a way to blow off steam. Conor McGregor's presidential ambitions. Yes, you heard that right. Conor McGregor just proclaimed his intentions to run for president of Ireland. The man whose whiskey, wild nightlife, and flamboyant style made him a global sensation is now aiming for the highest office in his homeland. While many suspect it's a publicity stunt, McGregor insists he's dead serious, outlining a plan to tackle the EU Migration Pact and host public referendums on hot-button issues. Predictably, the online reaction has been a circus. Some fans are supportive, imagining him as an anti-establishment candidate who'd challenge Ireland's political status quo. Others have ridiculed the notion, pointing out his controversies both in and out of the octagon. Bookmakers even jumped in, offering hefty odds against a McGregor presidency. One comedic twist is the possibility that, if he does run, he might try to become the first ever head of state to step back into the cage for a marquee fight. Dana White's harsh suspension. Anyone who wins on Dana White's Contender Series expects the golden door to a UFC contract. For Dalio Voivodkin, that door slammed shut. Shortly after his big win last September, he failed an out-of-competition drug test. Combat sports. Anti-doping hammered him with a 2-year suspension, citing a banned metabolic modulator that boosts endurance and cognitive function. This is a stark reminder of the doping battles that continue to plague MMA. Despite the UFC's partnership with anti-doping agencies, new substances pop up all the time, and unscrupulous fighters risk it all for an extra edge. Voivodkin's suspension means he'll be sidelined until late 2026, missing the prime of his career. Even if he returns, the stigma might linger, making it tough to secure high-profile matchups. Dana White, who has publicly denounced doping countless times, signed off on the punishment. The message is clear. If you break the rules, you'll face lengthy consequences.